First thing I want to say is I want to thank you all for being here this morning to help get the message out to the public, to our community out here about the events that are happening this weekend involving Cinco de Mayo. Traditionally, what we see as part of those events that happen throughout the city during the weekend is many celebrate by coming up to Federal and cruising up and down the corridor. We want the residents and certainly the community, the business community along Federal, to know that we anticipate that again this year, that we anticipate heavier volumes of traffic up and down Federal, probably beginning tonight and extending through the weekend. The Denver Police Department does have a plan in place, certain goals, first and foremost, to maximize public safety, minimize the congestion up and down Federal, and also to control the noise that happens as a result in the neighborhoods that exist and live up and down the Federal Boulevard corridor. We have many officers that are going to be assigned to this event and this effort this weekend, and we'll be looking for violations that really pose the most risk to public safety. We will be strictly enforcing those violations. Be looking for things like speeding, driving under the influence, things like street racing, hanging out vehicles with passengers that are driving up and down. So careless, reckless driving is sometimes something that we often see. So we're going to be enforcing those types of violations very strictly. We have a traffic plan that involves essentially 3 phases. The first phase will just allow normal traffic up and down Federal, and won't involve any barricades. We'll have officers assigned to post at different locations up and down Federal. If we have to go to what we call a phase 2 in that traffic plan, where traffic really starts to congest up and start to congregate even more, then we'll implement that phase 2. And really what that involves is setting up barricades to restrict access to some of the neighborhoods that surround the corridor, to reduce the impact on the residential community. If we have to go to the third phase, what that involves is traffic has gotten to a point where it doesn't allow normal flow, that it's very restrictive, that we feel that there's some safety complications and safety is compromised. And in that event, what we'll do is we'll start to divert traffic off of Federal. And we have a plan set up for that if we need to do that. And basically our goal is, again, to maximize the safety of the community and of the public. And we'll continue that operation until traffic is back to a normal level. This is something, too, I think that this effort, not only this weekend, what we've seen over the last several years, particularly on Sunday evenings, is the same type of cruising that goes up and down Federal. Again, those same types of violations that we look for, the street racing, the careless and reckless driving. That's an effort that's really going to go on throughout the entire summer. Thanks to support from our city council and others, we're able to dedicate officers throughout the summer on Sunday evenings specifically for enforcement up and down Federal to keep those safety things to the maximum effort that we can. So that's essentially it. I'll let Councilman Flynn say a few words.
Sure, if that's okay. First of all, my name is Kevin Flynn, F-L-Y-N-N. I'm the City Council representative for Southwest Denver District 2. Welcome to Southwest Denver. First of all, I want to wish everyone a great, happy, and safe Cinco de Mayo. There's a tremendous festival going on downtown. But as you know, here on Southwest Denver's Federal Corridor, traditionally we have a lot of cruising and showing off vehicles. Frankly, a lot of really gorgeous cars are going to be out here this weekend. But I'll tell you what, one of the biggest complaints we have here in this part of town is street racing, and the street racing isn't on Federal. It's on our side streets. It's on the street behind us, and it's on the street behind me, and that's dangerous. And I want to ask people, respect your neighborhoods. Take it to Bandemere if you want to race, right? But let us see your gorgeous cars, but please don't race. As the commander said, we were able to secure special funding for overtime enforcement on street racing here in Police District 4. And we hope that we don't see a lot of it, but if we do, we'll be prepared to handle it. We did the same thing last year, was very successful. We hope it'll be even more successful this year. So thank you very much, and everybody happy Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Can we ask you a quick question, Frank?
Sure.
So we were talking before about the weather. Will you light a candle and hope for bad weather perhaps this weekend? How does that play into that?
We do not hope for bad weather. We hope that we have sunshine and warm weather, so that everybody that is out enjoying the activities can enjoy to the full.
Some of those activities might be weather dependent.
Yeah, in years past, we've seen that. If we have inclement weather, bad weather during the weekend, then we do see less activity, certainly. We'll have enough officers that assigned to this event that we'll be able to monitor that activity. Again, if congestion with traffic gets to the point where we need to control it even more, we'll start putting up those barricades on the side streets so that access to those neighborhoods are restricted. I'm sorry? This weekend won't involve. It shouldn't involve much overtime at all because we've accommodated, planned ahead, change days off, that sort of thing for our officers. Going forward throughout the summer, depending on how many officers we actually end up having out here, it could be up to $60,000 in overtime throughout the summer.
And that special funding that you spoke of, will that cover the 60? Do you have a dollar amount on that special funding?
It will. We'll be able to. We've already been approved to spend up to that amount through our budget.
That's from City Council.
City Council has certainly helped with that effort and facilitated that.
So I haven't been here for these past few celebrations. Can you talk to me about what it used to look like and how you kind of progressed to handle the cruising and the street racing, that sort of thing?
Well, I certainly things have, I think, improved over the years, especially. We keep track of, citations and those sorts of things that, that are issued. We've seen a decrease for particularly the Cinco de Mayo celebration over the last few years as far as enforcement activity. I think we still see the street racing, still see that exhibition of speed in certain areas. I think some of that's been dispersed, but it's still an issue. It's still a problem. Not only in this community out here, but even in other communities throughout the metro area.
What is the community doing within the community to remind people?
I think education is a big part of that. We're certainly involved in that as far as the prevention efforts. Working with various car clubs, the neighborhood associations, to get the word out of what we're looking for, what our efforts are. Things that they can do to get the word out to their residents in their neighborhood. Last year throughout the weekend, I think we had 102 citations that were issued. I'd have to get those numbers. I can get those for you. But as I said, over the last probably 3, 4, 5 years even, we've seen a steady decrease in the amount of citations that we've written.
Any idea on the crowds you'll expect this year? Based off of previous years?
It's always difficult to predict that. I think that, we expect to see, what we normally see out here along Federal, which are large crowds and particularly over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
How late can they go in cruising go? Is there a cutoff time where you say, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and people are off the horns?
We've never seen it extend to that late of an hour. Certainly with the noise issues and the honking of horns and those celebratory types of things, that's something we're going to be paying attention to. We've got to be very mindful of the residents that live up and down the corridor and their rights and that sort of thing. So that's something we'll take into account as we're confronted with those types of noise issues, especially as we get later on into the evening hours.
102 citations, was that throughout the city or was that just on the Federal?
That was just up here on Federal and along the corridor. Speeding, DUIs, again, careless driving, those types of things that are pretty typical. I'm sorry?
Which category
I would say DUIs and speeding, I think, if I recall right. I can look at that and confirm that for you.
Other areas of concern aside from federal? I mean, is there anything that sticks out in your head that you're like, oh yeah, this is a big headache for us every time we see it for every event?
No, like I said, I think federal, the corridor, certainly the surrounding neighborhoods are affected by it, and that's something we'll pay attention to there. Most of the activity is really relegated to this corridor that we see, particularly down here in Southwest Denver. And I didn't mention at the start, but my name is Mark Fleecs. I'm a commander with the Denver Police Department, District 4, and the last name spelling is Fleecs.
You might mention that last year with the $60,000 that it was more than recouped in funds, so it paid for itself if you're comfortable saying that.
I'm going to say that. Let's just say that.
In regard to the $60,000 special overtime grant that we got, last year when this project was done with the same amount of money, it more than paid for itself in the resulting tickets and fines that came out of that effort. So it's not $60,000 just going out the window, but it's providing safety and it's paying for itself. So we wanted to repeat that this year, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, and I'll make one more comment on that. That's not something that we set out to do, certainly to recoup money or anything like that. Our enforcement, the number of citations that are written, are based upon safety violations, period. And certainly there were over the course of the summertime and the effort last year that we had throughout the summer. There were a lot of those citations written, a lot of enforcement done throughout the summer that I think helped to alleviate the amount of activity that was going on up here.
Thank you, sir.